Hello everyone, my name is Ivo and welcome to Cooking with the Koyas. You've seen my focaccia where I use milk as one of my ingredients. Today, no dairy, just water. We are going to make a focaccia that is light, airy, and full of flavor. Nothing dense here about this focaccia bread. And did I mention? It's ridiculously easy to make. Very little effort, but the results are nothing short of fantastic. Let's get started right now. Not only ridiculously easy to make, but minimal effort. Let's get it started by adding 250 grams of flour. I'm using a 00 flour, a high protein 00 flour. Can you use a bread flour with high protein? Yes, you can. Will it come out really good? It'll be great. You use a 00 flour, high protein of 12.5%, 13% or more. It'll be amazing. So I always share with you the ingredients to make the best. So 00 flour, 250 grams. Secret ingredient, 1 teaspoon diastatic malt powder. Again, if you don't have it and you don't add it, will your focaccia turn out? Yes, it will. But this is one of the key ingredients. It's a superfood for the yeast, helps with the rise, helps with the browning, helps with the flavor. It's one of the keys. So 1 teaspoon diastatic malt, it's about 3 grams. Next, 1/8 of a teaspoon, 1/8, that's it, of instant dry yeast. Now, one of the points I'd like to make with your yeast, make sure it's not expired, that it's fresh and good yeast. Okay, now that we have those in, give a mix. 250 grams of water. In it goes. So yes, we used 250 grams of flour earlier. Now we have 250 grams of water. And we're just going to mix these two together. And what we're doing here is we're making a Poolish. So this is going to be like a slurry. Very, very soft and very runny. But that's what a Poolish is all about. It's a 100% hydration. So mix it so everything's incorporated. I like to use a firm spatula. You could use a wooden spoon as well. Whatever you're comfortable with. Okay. That's about as most of the effort as this recipe takes. And that's it. Step 1 is done. What we need to do now is this now needs to rest for 12 hours. So we're going to let it rest at room temperature for 12 hours. And during that time, this Poolish is going to rise and it's going to become very active. And I'm anxious to show you the little bit of bubbles and activity that we're going to have 12 hours from now. So part 1 is done. Like I said, this recipe, very, very easy. Cover it up. And here's the other thing. I like to start this the night before, say around 9 o'clock in the evening. The next day, we make our final dough and we bake our focaccia. Come home from work on a Friday, no problem. Do it before you go to bed. Make your focaccia on a Saturday or from a Saturday to the Sunday. Take your pick. Very, very easy. Okay, I'll see you in 12. Here we are, 12 hours later. Let's take a look at our beautiful Poolish, and oh my goodness, it is absolutely beautiful. Look at that, it's risen nicely. Come take a look at all this activity going on in here. Hopefully you could see all those little bubbles and all that activity that's happening. We have a very active Poolish. Look at this. It looks like the surface of the moon. Isn't that something? I love it. Okay, let's make our dough. So here we have 250 grams of our high protein 00 flour. Again, to that we're going to add 10 grams of table salt, fine table salt. You could use sea salt as well. And again, our secret ingredient, our 1 teaspoon, which is about 3 grams of diastatic malt. So just mix that in together with the flour very easily. And now we add our flour mixture to this beautiful Poolish. Put it all in. And we need some more water. So here I have 100 grams of room temperature water. In it goes. Okay, that's it. Now all we have to do is we're going to mix this all together and get that flour all incorporated and start to form our dough. So mix this all around, and yes, 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 we are going to get in there with our hands. So I get it started first as much as we can, and then we'll get in there with our hands. We've picked up most of the flour now, and we have a shaggy dough. And now time to get in with our hands. So what we're going to want to do at this point is pick up all the flour, make sure it's all up incorporated, and we're going to use the pincer method by grabbing the dough and just squeezing it between the hands. So we're going to grab it and squeeze it. Turn the dough, grab it, squeeze it. And by doing this, we're going to make a nice smooth and consistent dough, nice and uniform. Right now I feel a little bit of clumps because of the flour, but basically I'm going to, as you see here, I make a quarter turn and squeeze, quarter turn and squeeze. So I'm going to do this for about 1 to 2 minutes until we have a nice smooth dough with no lumps. And there we have it. Let's take a look at our beautiful dough. There it is there. All right, we picked up everything. We got a nice smooth and consistent dough, and yes, it is sticky. It's going to be very sticky at this stage, and again, that's 100% normal. It's going to get less sticky as we go along. There we have our beautiful dough. Now, very simply, we're going to let this rest. So we're going to let it rest for 20 to 30 minutes with the lid on. There we go. Okay, lid on, 20 to 30 minute rest. So our dough's been resting nicely, okay? And what we're going to do now, I'm just going to wet my hand just a little. Not that you have to, but it'll make it less sticky, even though it already is less sticky. And what we're going to do now are a series of folds. And by folds, I mean grabbing the dough from one side, lifting it up, and just pulling it over to the middle. So I'm just going to grab the dough, lift, and fold it over. Turn the dough, grab the dough, lift, fold it over. So you could do a series of these folds. I like to do at least 10 of them. But as you do this, you can see that the dough is starting to firm up. And again, it's sticky, but not that bad. Okay. So continue to do these folds. Like I say, I like to do at least 10. And as you're doing it, the dough is firming up quite nicely. So we're really starting to develop a beautiful, beautiful dough right now. Okay, so after about 10, you could do up to 20. Okay, but I like to do at least 10. And then after that, we're going to just let it sit for another 20 to 30 minutes. We're back, and you guessed it, time to do another fold. Again, very easily. I'm going to just damp my hand just ever so slightly again. You don't have to, but it just makes it easier. Lift and fold. Lift and fold. Again, we're firming up this dough. And I'm going to do this again about 10 times. It's getting nice. They're building a nice structure here right now. That gluten network is really starting to develop. And this, folks, is the beginning of a beautiful focaccia right here. Okay, like I say, I like to do about 10. I lost count, but I think I got to be close to 10. You could do more than 10 if you want. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful start of a beautiful thing right there. And like I say, it's less sticky right now. Okay, so now that we've done that, it needs a little longer rest. This time it's going to rest for about 5 hours. So we're going to let it rise and rest for 5 hours, and we'll be right back. So it's been 5 hours, and look at our beautiful focaccia dough. It has doubled very nicely, and that's exactly what you want to see. So I'm going to remove it now real quickly from our container. And we're going to do another fold, but only 4 of them this time, a series of 4. So out comes our dough. Oh, it's beautiful dough. Beautiful dough. Alrighty. Okay. Now, to show you the folds a little bit, I could wet my hands if I want. Not really needed, but a little damp doesn't hurt. So again, fold one end, lift and fold it over. Lift, fold, lift the other side and the other side. And fold. Okay, that's one beautiful, beautiful dough right there. And now we're just going to shape it after we've done that fold. Give it a little bit of structure here. Shape it into a round by basically cupping your hands around it and pulling it towards you on a dry surface. And then it'll form a nice medium tight ball. There we go. Isn't that nice? Beautiful, beautiful dough. We're going to let it sit. Now, here's the thing. If you want, you could put this in the refrigerator and make your focaccia tomorrow. We're going to make it today, so it's going to sit for 2 hours. We're going to prep it in 2 hours, which means at an hour and a half, I'm going to preheat the oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. And then at 2 hours, it'll be ready to go in. So I'll see you in about 2 hours when we prep our dough. So our oven has been preheated, and look at our beautiful dough. It's been patiently waiting. Time to put this all together. So a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. This cookie sheet is 13 by 18 inches or 33 by 46 centimeters. I like to use an oversized cookie sheet and a heavy one. The focaccia cooks much, much better. But you could use a smaller size. You could use even a 10 by 15 inch. I like it a little bigger because I like to have air all around the outside of the dough. Okay, so we're going to start by drizzling some olive oil on the bottom of our pan and spreading it around. This is going to color up the bottom of our focaccia as well as prevent it from sticking. And this particular sheet pan has got little ridges too, which helps. It's not necessary, but it helps. Okay, that looks pretty good. Just a tad more. That makes me feel better. Okay. All right. That's done. Look at that beautiful dough. Hey, isn't that nice? All right, let's get it out and into our sheet pan. And there we have it. Comes out really, really nicely. Okay, burst that bubble. All right, time to shape our focaccia. I will put a little bit of olive oil on my hands just to help. And I'm going to shape it into a somewhat of a rectangular shape. Just pushing down on it, pushing down on it. Now, look at these beautiful air pockets. Wow, but we don't want them right now. Not before we're cooking. Okay. You could leave it as thick as you want. I could leave it right like that. It'll make a real thick focaccia, but I like to get this down to about 1 inch in thickness. So just keep pushing down, because what I found is that's the perfect size for cooking up very nicely and for multi-use. Okay, that's looking pretty good right there. And as I said, you could see it doesn't fill this pan. The pan is actually oversized. If it was 10 by 15 inch, it would fill it. All right, so now that we've got it down to about a 1 inch thick, and I know I keep switching between metric and imperial. Okay, I mentioned before in the video, being raised with imperial and then switching over to metric. This is what happens. Okay. So I like what I see there now. So I'm going to now dimple this, push down and just dimple it. Now, mind you, these dimples, because our dough is so soft and the focaccia is so amazing, we're actually going to lose most of those dimples when this bakes. But what those dimples are going to do initially is hold the spices and the olive oil. Okay, so speaking of spices and olive oil, we're going to make a simple focaccia here. Simple topping. A little bit of, well, let's go with the olive oil first. Let's drizzle the olive oil on, and you want a nice healthy drizzle of olive oil. Okay, and I'm going to add just a little bit more. We want to make sure that the entire top is coated in olive oil. And don't worry, some of this is going to run off to the sides, but we're going to gather that all up after and put it all right back on top again. So that looks pretty good. That's a nice healthy coating of extra virgin olive oil, which I really like. Now, salt. Focaccia likes salt. I never seem to put enough salt in for Laura, but I'll do the best I can. Salt. I'm using a fine sea salt. Regular table salt is fine. Oregano, that's my next spice. Again, we're keeping it very, very simple. So I have some dried oregano here, and we're going to just sprinkle that oregano all around on the top. This adds nice color, and it also adds a real nice flavor to our focaccia. Maybe just a little more oregano. And there we go. Focaccia is ready for the oven. So in it goes. Middle shelf. We are going to bake that at 500 degrees anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes. I like to go with my oven closer to 15 minutes, and I like that nice golden browning color. So I'm going to leave mine for 15 minutes, and when I take it out, it's going to be nothing short of spectacular. It's that wonderful time. Let's shut the oven down. Oh my, folks, just take a look at this. Beautiful, beautiful focaccia. And that's the color I'm talking about right there. That nice, let's say darker golden brown, hey? And you can see the oil is pooled on there, and there's also some oil in the tray. We're gonna get that all spread around right now. Ooh, that looks really good. Yes, we're gonna take this olive oil. You can see all our dimples. There's only 2, 3, 4 dimples left. Oh, maybe a couple here. But most of the dimples are gone because this has risen so nicely. And if there's any olive oil like this here, you could also use that little bit and rub that all around as well. So we're going to get everything coated all around with that beautiful extra virgin olive oil. And when you eat focaccia, if your hands are not a little oily, then you didn't use enough olive oil. Oh, look at this focaccia. Oh my goodness. That's the color that I absolutely love. And the thing is, some people I like to eat the ends or the sides, but I know Laura, she prefers the middle, a little softer. It all depends. But you know what? A focaccia like this, you keep everybody happy. Look at this. Oh my goodness. You know what I'm looking forward to, folks. The taste test. We're going to cut this. I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. I just got to let it cool just a little bit. I got to be patient just a bit. But take a look here. Isn't that beautiful? Very, very, very nice. Okay, let's just let it rest just a bit so get a little cooler. And then we're going to cut right into it. Okay, it's still hot, but I'm going to use a pair of scissors. And you know what? Let's cut it right up the middle. Oh, it's steaming. It's steaming. Oh my. Look. Hopefully you can get a good look at that. Let me show you. That looks unbelievable. I absolutely need to show you this. Look at this. Yeah, it's hot. Look at this. Talk about light, fluffy, and airy. I know it's a bit dark with my lighting here. Oh yeah, we're going to do the taste test, folks. Okay, again with the scissors, what I typically like to do is cut them into squares. And I'll cut right up the middle. And then I'll cut squares. And here's the thing. I'll take this nice little corner piece right here. You can eat these just the way they are as an accompaniment to your meal, or with a knife, you can cut it up the middle, put some prosciutto in there, some capicola, a little bit of provolone, some roasted pepper, and make yourself a nice sandwich. However you want to do it, you can't go wrong. And look at the color on the bottom. Perfect. Okay, I have to get in. Okay. This right here is what it's all about. The flavor on this focaccia is absolutely amazing. The only problem is you make this, you put it on the table, your guests are just going to want to eat this. That's how good it is. But you can have some fun with this too. Have a focaccia night. Get some nice cold cuts. Get everything prepared. Invite a bunch of people over. This is easy to make. Minimal effort. But the flavor on this focaccia is outstanding. Even the middle part, softer. Just the way it is. Nothing added. Plain salt and oregano. I could eat this, folks, like candy. It really is that good. Simple to make, very little effort, needs a little bit of time, but very little effort, and the results are nothing short of fantastic. I really hope you give my focaccia a try, because it's one of my favorites, and I hope it will be one of yours as well. Spending time in the kitchen, so glad you can join me, and as always, folks, until next time, buon appetito. Absolutely amazing. Flavorful, delicate on the inside, crunch on the outside. The crumb on the inside with that 00 flour. That is a winner. Wow.